to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I won. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I want to be silly, baby, dance the night away. I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. You can. Baby, let your head down. Be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off. You don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down. Be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off. Don't hide it. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
All right, guys, we're just doing a quick little sound check. Let's see how this sounds. We're going to start in about 7 minutes. About 7 minutes to game time.
You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box.
Sounds good to me. If anyone on the channel can't hear me, let me know now before we start the feed. It's always different whether you're wearing headphones or listening to it on TV. So let me know how it's going, guys. We have 6 minutes to game time. We're going to start a conditional race. That means that we're going to go along to a race, and there will be different conditions that when you meet them in the race, we're going to do something. In the past, it's been, when you come across Nate Cook, you're going to sprint. When you come across Sharon, you're going to do a 40-minute hard effort, whatever. So there will be conditions in this race coming up. We're going to warm up first, then we're going to race. All included should take about an hour. See you guys in about 5 minutes.
Saw you from across the room. When our eyes met, I never knew that I could feel this way, and it's kinda strange. Don't even know your name. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you.
All right, guys, we're coming up on 3 minutes to go. In 3 minutes, we're going to start our live race along. We're going to start with about 15 minutes of warm-up, 12 to 15 minutes. Then we're going to move right into our workout. It's conditional today, which means depending on what happens in the race, you're going to do something different. I did not write down what all the conditions were, so maybe I'll forget, but I programmed them into the ride, so we'll see it when it comes up. We're going to have San Diego Bike Club. There's a couple members from SDBC in this race, so when you pass SDBC, you're going to do something. When you come next to Methods to Winning, I called it Methods of Standing. So when you get next to Methods to Winning, you're going to stand up for 10 seconds. Whether or not that means you go hard is kind of independent. Whatever level of effort we're at, you're just going to stand up. When you're off the front, you're going to attack. So you're going to do something different on each of those conditions. Also, every 5 minutes, there's a little bit of a sprint. So we have a couple conditions that'll pop up. It'll show up on the screen, so even if I forget, it'll be there. And there might be some that I missed. Like maybe we do pass SBDC, and instead of doing that condition, if I didn't program it in, we're just going to skip it. So it'll be programmed in. Hopefully we're going to work hard today. Not hopefully. We're going to work hard today. If it happens to be your recovery week, or you're just not feeling 100%, or you've already worked out 12 days this week, and you're just feeling beat down, I would say do the conditions, which is some sprinting, some ramping it up, some standing. Do all the conditions, and then all the in-between stuff, make it nice and aerobic. Nice zone 2. If this is your actual workout this week, everything that's not one of the conditions, like a sprint or a 18-second ramp or an attack, everything else is going to be tempo. So it's tempo, and then we do some stuff on top of it. If this is your recovery week, you're going to go aerobic and then just do the stuff on top of it. Cool. All right, guys, we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. 30 seconds to start our warm-up. If I'm not mistaken, this is San Diego Bike Club right in front of us. That's that green kit, Pack Demo kit. So that's going to be one of our conditions. So just pay attention to that kit. This is for sure SBDC. Yeah. So pay attention to that kit. We got at least 2 or 3 riders from that team, from that club in this race today. All right. 3 minutes, nice and easy. Any RPM you want. Sitting, standing, 110 RPMs, 80 RPMs. It's your choice. Just go nice and easy. I would say 50% FTP is a good place to be. I usually warm up at 55% FTP, just a little bit above halfway. Maybe a little bit out of superstition. So 55% FTP. All right, you have a Methods to Winning kit up here on the right. MW, it's the LAL kits. Just pay attention to that because that is going to be the one of the conditions is when you pass someone from Methods to Winning, or when you get up close to them. We have actually a German bike rider. I want to say German. We have a German bike rider today. You can see down in the wattage, instead of power, it has a word that I'm not sure I can pronounce. Vermigen. Let's double check that. So while you're warming up, I'm going to double check exactly how to say that. I think this might be Dutch. I'm not sure why I thought it was German. Yep, Vermo Gin, we'll just call it that, is Dutch, and it means power or ability or all the things that power would mean. Here's a question. So cycling is very steeped in European culture. So do you guys use kilometers and kilometers per hour, or do you use miles per hour, feet, yards? What do you use when you're cycling for speed, for distance? Pop it in the comments. Let me know on Facebook. Here we go. We're going to ramp up our effort for 3 minutes of tempo. That's kind of just a feeling for you. It doesn't have to be exact. If you're looking at your power meter, I would do 70% FTP. If you're not looking at your power meter and you're just going by feel, I would say this should feel like a 6.5 out of 10. A little bit uncomfortable, especially the first time you hit this level of effort in the day. It starts off a little uncomfortable until you drop into it. Heart rate's getting elevated. You're breathing deeper, probably breathing through your mouth. Getting hotter, getting sweatier. This is going to be our base level of effort for this race today. So we're going to do this tempo as base effort, and then we do things on top of that. So tempo effort, get very comfortable in this range, 70% FTP, give or take a little bit. One of the contradictions, especially riding the track is all done in meters. We often talk about a 200-meter sprint in a bike race, the last 200 meters. The velodrome is measured in meters. But then we'll still talk about miles per hour. You know, you hit 40 miles an hour in the last 200 meters. So we start to mix up that metric and imperial a little bit, at least here in the US and on the track. So let me know, what do you guys think? Are you more kilometers per hour, or are you a miles per hour type of person? All right, you have about 2 more minutes here. Tempo, pace, any RPM you want. Check back in 1 minute.
I could say I was finally over you.
All right. So we're at the beginning of this race. We're in the first couple laps, and we're going to keep this race going. So sometimes we warm up to a different part of the race, and then we start our efforts at the beginning. This is the beginning. It's just going to go straight through to the end, all the way through the workout. All right, guys, we're going to do 3 minutes spicy. So 3 minutes of about threshold effort. All right, if you're not sure what your threshold is, we're going to do anything that burns a little bit. So it should feel like maybe 7 to an 8 out of 10, somewhere between a 7 and an 8 for the next 3 minutes. If you're looking at your power meter, I would do 95 to 105% FTP, so a little bit under or a little bit over. That's pretty much the range of your over-unders. So anywhere in that range for the next 3 minutes. Any RPM you want. I would suggest about 90 plus, maybe 95, 90, but anything you want. 2.5 minutes to go.
It's a rainy night coming late out of the dojo. No lights, dark out on the parking lot. Looking for my car, thought I left it here before. Get a feeling that something ain't right. Moving shadows, hear the sound of 2 feet.
All right, guys, we should have just about a minute and a half left to go. So with about 90 seconds left, make sure you're finishing nice and spicy. If it doesn't burn a little bit, chances are you've either slowed down or you're warming up and you can handle just a little bit more. So let's make it burn just a little bit all the way to the end of this 3-minute effort. You're going to finish with recovery after this. So you're going to get a little bit of a recovery, do some sprints. 1 minute to go. All right, guys, 45 seconds. You're going to get a quick recovery. We're going to do 2 sprints at the end. Make sure that this burns a little bit.
Thinking what the hell, I'm gonna make it somehow. Run into a closed liquor store, break the window. Grab a bottle of gin, take a swig, oh no. Stepping on a slimy lump, and no, they're lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, monsters all around me. All I see, 100 ninjas on me.
All right, almost done. About 5 more seconds left here. 1 minute rest. Don't worry too much about paying attention to this warm-up. I'm going to talk you guys through it. Just keep your head in this raise, kind of look at what's going on. There's a slight gap in that field of people that have gone off the front. They did not go quite hard enough, though. That gap is not quite big enough that it's for sure going to come back. And that's one of those calculations you have to make in a race is, what's the composition of the people that went? Are they strong enough to get away? Are they going hard enough to get away? Is that speed differential big enough? If not, and you know it's going to come back, you just have to be in the right group to pull them back or to get pulled back. So our camera here did that calculation and just knew it wasn't going to stay away. And here it is, easily coming back. 10-second sprint. We're going to start this one standing up if you can. Get aggressive, get hard for 10 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Standing up, warm up, sprint. Go, 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 go. Standing up until you feel like you have to sit down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right at the finish line. I did not plan that out, but it works out good. 30 seconds rest. We're now going to do a 20-second sprint. Don't think of this as aggressive as your first sprint. Think of it as trying to bridge a gap, trying to break away. Well, maybe even a little bit easier than breaking away. But you're trying to bridge that gap. So 20 seconds of seated hard acceleration, but you're not going to go all out. Think of it like a 9 out of 10 in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Seven seconds to go. Come on. 3, 2, 1, and take a breath. All right, guys, we get plenty of recovery here. Our friend's off the front right now. We are going to recover, and then when we're back, we have some conditions. There are 3 conditions. If you are off the front, I'm sorry, if you're on the front, not even if you're off the front. If you're on the front, we're going to do a quick sprint, and then we're going to continue as if we're breaking away. So you're going to sprint for 5 seconds, and then you're going to sit down and hang on to a 9 out of 10 effort for the rest of those 30 seconds. So it's a 30-second effort. Even if in the middle of those 30 seconds, you end up not being on the front anymore, we're going to finish out those 30 seconds. If you pass someone from San Diego Bike Club, SDBC, they're going to be in green kits with a Pactimo kit. If you pass them, not if you come beside them, if you pass someone from SDBC, and I just picked it because it's a prevalent kit that you're going to see from the beginning through the end. If you pass that kit, let me remember. Pass that kit. You're going to ramp it up. I believe. I could be wrong. I believe you're going to ramp it up, and we're going to start ramping it up every 6 seconds for 18 seconds. So about 20 seconds of getting faster and faster and faster and faster. If you pull up next to methods to winning, you don't have to pass them. Just if you pull up next to them, we're going to stand up for 10 seconds. That could happen in the middle of an effort. It could happen right as soon as you're done with an effort. So when you're trying to recover, you have to stand up and keep your RPMs going. So that's going to be our third condition. And our last thing is every 5 minutes, there's going to be a short 6-second sprint, and that's all out. That might be a lot to remember. Don't worry, because it's going to pop up on the screen. And we're going to be paying attention to this race so you'll know when it happens. Try to see if you can spot that methods to winning kit before the screen says stand up. See if you can spot that SDBC kit before you pass them so that you have an eye on that kit and you can start to mark people within this race. Being able to identify people and other racers and keep tabs on them while you're doing your own race is a super important skill. We're going to start in 20 seconds. I'm just going to let you know right now, you're going to be off the front as soon as this starts. So we're going to start with our off the front condition. Here we go. All right, you're going to start with a 5-second sprint. Here we go. 5-second sprint. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're going to sit down and hold on to a 9 out of 10 effort for the rest of that counter. You have 20 seconds left. 9 out of 10 effort. Pedal, 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 pedal. This should be challenging. Let's go. Work for it. Come on. All the way, guys. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go back to tempo. Tempo is our base level of effort. So let's go back to tempo. If you're looking at your power meter, 70% FTP. 70, 75, maybe up to 80, but no more than 80 right now. Tempo. If you're just recovering today and you want to work hard, but you also want to get some recovery, instead of tempo, you're going to do aerobic, something zone 2, maybe 60, 65%. But that should not be very many of us. Most of us should be at tempo. Cool. Tempo pace until the next condition happens. Good. At tempo pace, you should be feeling sweaty. You should be breathing pretty deeply. It's not comfortable. It's a little bit uncomfortable. You know, I struggle with calling it uncomfortable because with enough tempo and sweet spot training, you can become comfortable with the uncomfortable, or you can get used to being in discomfort. So is it really uncomfortable? It's slightly uncomfortable, but even if you're used to it. That was kind of a non-statement. But yeah, if you know what I mean. Here we go. We're off the front, guys. And I didn't mark it, so don't go for it. So with tempo, it's not supposed to feel great, or it probably shouldn't feel great. Slight burning in the legs, rising heart rate. It's sustainable for pretty long periods of time, which means that cumulative effect can actually be pretty gnarly. So that's why a lot of times we take tempo efforts and we break them up in training. We don't necessarily want to do 2 hours of tempo work. That's horrible. Here we go. That's the 5-minute mark. We're going to do a 6-second sprint. And go. 2, 1. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Sprint. 4, 3, 2, 1. and shut it down. That's going to pop up every 5 minutes, kind of without warning. Here we go. Take a look at this Pack Demo kit. That is San Diego Bike Club. Why did I pick them? It's not because I'm hating on San Diego Bike Club, but they just happened to have 2 or 3 people in this race, and the kit was popping up a lot. So we're going to keep our eyes on these kits. When you pass this rider, only when you pass this rider or anyone in that kit, you're going to do your SDBC condition, which means we're going to ramp it up every 6 seconds. 3 times, so 18 seconds total. Good. Make sure you're at tempo pace. If there's nothing on the screen that you should be doing, chances are you're doing tempo. Here we go. We're going to ramp it up 6 seconds at a time. So start pedaling faster and harder. This should be a little bit spicy. We're looking at threshold effort. Ramp it up again. This should be even harder. This should be like VO2 max effort. And ramp it up a third time. Final 6 seconds. You should be at 8 or 9 out of 10 right now. 3, 2, 1, and take a breath. All right, we're right behind Methods to Winning. So when we pass, or when we get right up next to Methods to Winning, we're going to stand up for 10 seconds. Good. And this is only when you're on the front that we do our off the front effort. If there's people up the road, then you're technically not on the front. So only when you're at the very front of this race are we going to do that 30-second effort. But for now, here we go. We're right up close and personal, so we're going to stand up for 10 seconds. Whatever effort you're doing right now, which should be tempo, stay standing 10 seconds. Try not to lose any power. Try not to gain any power. Just float it out 10 seconds, and there we go. We're back down in the saddle, back to tempo pace, 70 to 80% FTP. If you're going based on feel, it should be breathing nice and deeply, feeling sweaty, but sustainable. Here we go. We are on the front, so stand up and sprint for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit down and maintain that for another 25 seconds. Keep going. 9 out of 10 effort. Sitting down. Pedal, 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 pedal. Come on. 15 more seconds. 9 out of 10 effort. No slowing down. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back to tempo. Tempo pace. So something it's hard to tell exactly. Oh, there's Methods to Winning. Stand up for 10 seconds. 10 seconds out of the saddle. Keep it going. Tempo pace. 4, 3. Look at who we're behind. 2. And you can sit back down. Keep your eyes on San Diego Bike Club. If we pass him, we're going to ramp it up for 18 seconds. It's hard to tell exactly what our friend was thinking at the end of his little attack, but sometimes when you finish an attack and you're slowing down, other people will counterattack you. And choosing whether to hop on those wheels or to wait for a bigger group to come by and to catch onto that group, that's a calculation that you're going to have to do. It's a lot harder. Here we go. 6-second sprint. Go, 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 go. That was our 5-minute sprint mark. 5 to go. 4 to go. I started you early, so you have 3 to go. 2 to go. 1 to go. You're done. All right. Started that one a little early, so we'll finish that one a little early. It's harder to catch on to someone counterattacking you because you just finished and you're slowing down while that person is speeding past you. So that speed differential is hard. It's much easier to catch on to someone, a bigger group that's passing on later on, and take that to bridge all the way up. The calculation is, however, if that person that counterattacked you gets away and stays away, then you will not win this race. So you have to know the people you're racing with, know your own abilities. If you catch onto that person's wheel, are you going to blow up? If you blow up, you're still not going to win the race. So a lot of little variables that you need to learn about yourself before you make those decisions. When you pass this person, you are going to do a 18-second ramp. But for now, we're going to stand up for 10 seconds out of the saddle. Methods to winning. Three, 2, 1, and you can sit back down in that saddle. All right, and we're on the front, so stand up and sprint for 5, 4, 3, sprinting 2, 1, and you have 25 more seconds in the saddle. 9 out of 10 effort. I think I called you on the front, but it looks like maybe these two were off the front, unless they're getting lapped. But probably not. All right, keep it up. 9 out of 10 effort. We're just going to keep going. Go, 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 go. And relax. All right. You're passing SDVC, so let's ramp it up. 6 seconds. This should be spicy. Threshold. Good. We're at threshold. We're going to ramp it up again. We should be VO2 max. We should be like 110% FTP. Go, 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 go. Ramp it up a third time. You should be as hard as you think you can go. 9 out of 10. And bring it back down to tempo effort. All right, guys, we're tempo effort. We're back on San Diego Bike Club. That's why I picked this guy and this kit, because it's in the mix with this rider a lot. So we're going to be able to use him a lot. Tempo effort, guys. 70 to 80% FTP. All right, and we're passing and we're off the front. Sprint for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Stand up. Sprint, 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 sprint. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And sit down and hold on to 90% effort. 9 out of 10. Not 90% FTP. 9 out of 10 effort. So we should be really gunning. This probably feels like 110% FTP. Push, 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 push. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to tempo. Not resting all the way down, not taking a breath, not freewheeling. Tempo. Tempo pace, guys. I like that. I don't do that very often. Usually when someone, so what happened was we got flicked through with the elbow. Instead of actually pulling through, he sat on his wheel for a second and then pulled through off to the side. When you're trying to get rid of someone, or you just don't want them to have any help at all, you want to tire them out, sometimes instead of pulling through, you'll just sit on their wheel, which is annoying for everyone because it does slow the race down. You can always pull through laterally, diagonally, just the way you would attack. You don't attack right next to someone because they can catch on. Kind of attack laterally and diagonally. If you pull through diagonally, then especially if it's a short group, there's not a huge line for them to tack onto the back of, they get less draft. It takes them longer to get back in. They have to look around, they have to readjust, they have to reaccelerate. It's a great, very annoying thing to do. Only use it if there's someone that you're really trying to shake down. Don't just be a dick in the middle of, you know, a weekly series race where you're going to have to show up week after week. If you do it all the time, every week, it's going to happen to you. Cool. 5-minute sprint, and we're going to do, 5-minute marker. We're going to sprint in 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 6 second sprint, 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 sprint. All out. Everything you got. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, make sure we are at tempo pace. Breathing deeply. Feeling like you're in this race. I think we're just about to pass SDBC. Are we? We'll see. He's the rabbit. This is actually a different guy. So you have two different San Diego Bike Club guys that are going to be in the mix here. One of them with these tiger socks, and the other one is going to have honeycomb socks. Those are things that you need to pay attention to in a race so that you know who is who. You can differentiate teammates. You know, you can look for who's the lead out, who's the sprint, all of that stuff. All right, so we're right on Tiger Socks wheels. We probably have another 2.5 minutes to our 5-minute marker sprint. Make sure you are tempo pace. If you're not a little bit uncomfortable, ramp it up just a little bit. We want to be on that slightly discomfort edge. Oh, here we go. We passed. 6 seconds. Start ramping up. We should be threshold pace. Pedal, 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 pedal. We go ramp it up again. 2 pepper spicy, which should be via 2 effort. Pedal, 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 pedal. And we add a 3rd pepper. Here we go. Boom. As hard as you can go. Within reason. And bring it back down to tempo. For a pure sprinter, someone that is a track sprinter on the velodrome, when you go as hard as you can, it's literally as hard as you can go. In the middle of an endurance race, which means you need to endure, you need to make it to the end. As hard as you can go usually means a little bit less than as hard as you can go. Because if you truly gave all of your capacity, then you would not be able to finish the race and you would be done after that one effort, which is what happens for a sprinter that unleashes everything they have. The gas tank's empty. For us, when we go as hard as we can, in this scenario, it's go, 9.8 out of 10, so you still have a little bit left over to do it again. There's in science, in sports science, and specifically medicine, there's a term called minimum effective dose. And the goal is, with medicine, what's the minimum effective dose? What's the least amount of this I can take and get the desired results? Why take 15 aspirin when I could take 1? For cost effectiveness, also for impact on your body. You don't want to be ingesting too much extra drugs that you don't need. Same thing with efforts in a race. What's the minimum effective dose? If I could do a 1,000-watt sprint to get away and be part of a breakaway, that's pretty tiring versus maybe I could do 700 watts to break away. So being able to dial in your minimum effective dose is it's a really important skill. And it's different depending on who you're racing with, how windy it is, how strong you are, how fatigued you are, how long the straights are, how technical the turns are. So you'll start to dial in your minimum effective dose and use that appropriately. Start thinking about that when you're in your group rides, when you're training and you're going into some sprints. Start thinking about just how does this relate to my race scenario. All right, here we go. Looks like we're going to be on the front. Am I going to call this on the front? No, I'm not, because there's people up front. False alarm. Stay at tempo, guys. We should be tempo, 70 to 80% FTP, sweating. If you're not sweating, ramp it up. I hear this a bunch. 6 second sprint for the 5-minute marker starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Stand up. Sprint, 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 sprint. 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. All right, guys. So I hear this a lot. Oh, tempo is easy for me now. Threshold is easy for me now. That's kind of a misnomer. If it's easy for you, it's not your threshold anymore. You know, our physical, oh, stand up, 10 seconds, out of the saddle. Just keep going tempo, but out of the saddle for 10 seconds. As we adapt, our training zones need to adjust, and we actually adapt quicker than you would think. We train and detrain pretty quickly. So if you take 2 weeks off, your threshold is probably a little bit lower than it was before, at least your functional threshold. Your ability to hit that either physically or neurally, is a little bit different. So if tempo and threshold are now easy for you, that probably means that it's not tempo and threshold. It's probably aerobic and tempo. So everything feels easier because your capacity has increased. So if you're training and you haven't assessed your FTP every 2 months minimum, then chances are you're riding in the wrong zone, or you're calling your zones wrong things. Tempo is easy. Well, it's probably not tempo. You know, tempo could be manageable, but it probably shouldn't be easy. All right, that's my soapbox. We'll get off of that for a little bit. Keep going tempo, 70 to 80%. Oh, and that's how it connects. If you're going based on feel, it should feel a little uncomfortable. You should be breathing deeply. If you're going based on power, 70 to 80% FTP. If you're at 80% and it feels easy, chances are your zones are wrong. So just push it up a little bit higher than that anyway. All right. For anyone watching along on the Facebook or the YouTube, on Facebook, I put out the challenge, tag as many racers that you recognize in this field. Whoever tags the most wins. Tagging is going to be easiest on Facebook, but you can also just write their names in on YouTube. Whoever identifies the most racers by name, not by team or kit, will win a cycling cap. So, who do you see? This is going to be most relevant to anyone that races in the Southern California region, because that's where this race is. This course itself is very close to the LA Velodrome. It's probably a 5-minute drive from the LA Velodrome. All right, tempo, tempo, tempo. Keep that tempo going. If you start to find yourself relaxing and feeling comfortable, something should change. We actually have some 5 Bling gloves up here on the right. I'm not familiar with this team, but 5 Bling is a very niche track cycling glove. I actually got a pair. They used to be just regular gloves, but I got a pair that had Kevlar fabric sewn into the back of the hand, which prevents it from ripping all the way through if you crash on the track. All right, tempo, tempo, tempo. Keep it going, guys. All right, there's our 5-minute marker. We're going to do a 6-second sprint, stand up and go all out, or quote unquote all out. In 3, 2, 1, and stand up and sprint, 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 sprint. Let's go. Pedal, 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 pedal. Take a breath. All right. We're back to tempo, 70 to 80% FTP. Sweaty, breathing deeply. Any of those markers that you want to look for. Chances are if you can breathe through your nose comfortably, it's a little bit too easy. So just like we're doing right now, coming around the outside, typically the shortest line, not typically, the shortest line is on the inside of a turn. The further out you are on a turn, the more road you have to ride. So therefore, to match the speed of someone on the inside, you have to have a higher speed differential. I'm going to make these numbers up, but if you were going 20 miles an hour on the inside of a turn, you might need to go 22 to come around the outside and keep even shoulder to shoulder with that person. I made those numbers up, but that's the idea. So the outside's usually a slower line, but if the inside is all gunked up and there's a bunch of people and they're not going that fast, sometimes the outside ends up being the faster way around, which we took a couple of those here. Get through some of that gunk, get to where it's a little more strung out, and you can get back to the inside line again. You risk being on the inside and getting boxed in and getting shut out, so to speak. If you're stuck on the inside and you can't get out and you're up against the curb and someone attacks on the outside, you can't go because you're boxed in. So some of those positioning things, sometimes the less optimal line is actually better. It's more optimal based on the context and the positioning of the race. Cool. We're chilling right now. We're not really going that fast. We're at 33K an hour. I don't want to, that's not, what am I trying to say? That's not to say that 33 kilometers an hour is not challenging for some people. If you're taking this in 33K is challenging for you, first of all, we're drafting, but, different speeds are more challenging for different people. So 33 is not nothing. It's just easy for the pace of this particular race. I don't know what's going on there. We got a little push from our friend here, a little Madison push. So Madison is a race that was invented in Madison Square Garden, or premiered in Madison Square Garden. That's the track race where you throw someone in by their hand. It used to not be hand throws. It used to be pushes from the back. So, little history there. People had special shorts with these little ledges on them. You would come in and push them up, push them through, and that's how you would exchange partners. Push them in while you rest, and then they'll push you in while they rest. All right, keep your eyes on these teams in the race. So we're looking for SDBC. We're also looking for methods to winning. We haven't been on the front in a while. That's another condition. And then every 5 minutes, we're going to do a sprint. Make sure you're going tempo. Tempo, tempo, tempo. All right, here we go. That's the 5-minute mark. And we're up close to methods to winning. So you're going to sprint, and you're going to do it all out of the saddle because we're right up next to MW. Here we go. And sprint, 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 sprint. Good. Bring it back down. Oh, stand up for 10 seconds. I did it later too. So it's just stand up. Go back to tempo while you're standing. All right. Cool. Back in that saddle, tempo pace. You can see San Diego Bike Club up here on the right. Keep tabs on the people around you. If you're new to a race, scene, you're not sure who the other players are, you don't know them intimately and their abilities, a lot of times you can kind of infer who is a good racer based off of their positioning. If they're always in a good position, if they're in a position that you would want, if you know what you're doing and they're in a position you want, chances are they also know what they're doing. If you, throughout this race, every couple laps, you notice that they're sitting 8th wheel and they're really protected, but they're close enough to the front they can react, chances are that's someone to look out for because they know what they're doing. If there's someone that's always letting gaps open up and then doing a weird sprint, if they're sprinting out of every corner, if they're taking weird lines, chances are they're not a great racer. That's not always true. But here we go. We passed SDBC, so let's ramp it up 6 seconds, starting at threshold. Ramp it up, spicy. Ramp it up again, VO2. Even spicier, ramp, ramp, ramp. Here we go, ramp it up a third time. We should be 9 out of 10 hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. All right, back to tempo. Tempo pace. Kind of got some disorganization up here at the front of the race. Typically this close to the end of a race, people are gonna coalesce and make a little final push to the end. All right, working our way back up to the front here. We got 2 people off the front, maybe 3 extra people up there. Cool. Make sure your tempo. If you've forgotten, if you've been watching this race and spacing out, back to tempo. Always at tempo unless you're doing something specified on the screen.
Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Everyone always keep falling in love again. The fuck's wrong with them? I don't understand. Maybe it will pass by. Someone save me for I pass out. I'm too lonely to be done. I'm a drink at this place. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's
Tempo, 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 tempo.
with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be 2 of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but
I'm not going to mention any names in this race because that's part of the challenge. To win a cycling cap, you got to name them yourself. It's hard though. I'm holding back because I keep wanting to say, hey, look, it's blank. This person that we're drafting is blank. So if you can name those names, you win. If you yourself were in this race, and I see one of you on Facebook watching this, if you were in this race, you can't answer. You're not allowed. You can message me privately, but don't answer because you're going to give it away. You're going to give a lot of them away. Good. Tempo, 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 guys. I know tempo can be boring, but that's the majority of racing. It's kind of interesting at the beginning, and it gets interesting at the end, and the whole middle is usually just tempo pace. And the longer the race is... Oh, here we go. We're going to ramp it up. I didn't even see us pass. 6 seconds at a time. Make it spicy. We're at threshold. Get ready. Ramp it up again. VO2 max with like 110% FTP. Pedal, 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 pedal. And we're going to ramp it up 9 out of 10 hard. 3 spicies. Boom, 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 boom. And bring it back down. I honestly didn't even see that one coming. Yeah, most of the excitement is in the beginning of the race and at the end of the race. The middle is just tempo. And if it's a road race and it's a long road race, most of the middle is less than tempo. It's aerobic. 5 minutes marker for the 6 second sprint, starting in 3, in 2, in 1, and 6 second sprint. Stand up, sprint, 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 sprint. Go, 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 go. 3, 2, 1. Back to tempo. All right, guys, we're back to tempo. (70 to 80% FTP). Feeling moderate, breathing deeply, a little bit uncomfortable. How uncomfortable kind of depends on how much tempo work you train, but there should be a level of discomfort. Uh-oh. If you ever see someone adjusting their shoes, always take it seriously. Shaking out their legs. I try not to do this. I do this in training all the time. I always retighten my shoes before I sprint. I always shake out my quads before I do a hard effort. Really try not to do this in a race, guys, because you are telegraphing the shit out of it. Yeah. I'll sometimes do it to put someone on edge. Maybe you tighten your shoes up to make someone think you're about to attack. But, man, it's very obvious that you're tightening your shoes up because you're about to sprint. You know.
Moving shadows, hear the sound of 2 feet. See my car where my keys, kinda getting spooky. Oh God, now it's coming from behind. My cell is gone dead as I slowly turn around and go. Suddenly, monsters all around me. All I see, 100 ninja zombies. Suddenly, monsters all around me.
That's a good shoe sock combo, though. Have to say. Make sure your tempo, guys. Don't get distracted by someone tightening their shoes up. Get back to tempo. Here we go. Methods to winning. We should be standing up for 10 seconds. Here we go. Keep it going tempo. Stand up. Standing up and keeping that power nice and smooth is a skill. You might need to give it a little more resistance. You might need to shift if you're on a regular trainer. Bring it back down to tempo. Oh. Here's Nate. Speaking of Nate Cook, I did not know he was in this race. Here he comes by. You can tell by the kit. Here we go. 5 minute mark. 6 second sprint. Here we go. Sprint, 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 sprint. Oop, I started you a little early, but just keep going for 3, 2, 1. You can bring it back down. Sorry, guys, I started you early, so we'll finish early.
1, 2, 3 o'clock. Grab my nunchucks. 5, 6 knee kicks. Practice on bricks. Heads to the left.
All right, keep that tempo going.
Round kicks flying as I fall to the floor. 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Grab my nunchucks. 5, 6 knee kicks. Practice on bricks. Heads to the left. Heads to the right. Oh, 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 hey, hey.
All right. What kit do you see in frame that might be part of our race today? Something that we need to keep an eye out for. I don't know that I even noticed it when I wrote this, but you know, keep your eyes open. What 2 kits do you see that might be of importance? Here we go. Methods to winning, called methods to standing. Stand up, 10 seconds out of the saddle. Out of that saddle for 5 more seconds. Keep the tempo going. Tempo, 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 tempo. And you should be back in the saddle. Keep your eyes open for different kits. I thought we were way closer to the end than we were. We should be approaching the end within the next 5 minutes. But then again, I did not put the timer up on this, so we'll find out. Keep that tempo going, guys. Tempo pace. There's methods to winning, so methods to standing. Let's stand up. 10 seconds. Whose wheel are we on, and why does it matter? And there we go. You can sit back down. We got honeycomb on the front. All right, guys, this is the end. You got to ask yourself, why is someone on the last lap going so hard off the front? Unless he has a teammate that he was hoping was behind him, but maybe is right behind you. So, remember, guys, when we pass SDBC, we sprint, and then we hold it for 30 seconds. No, I'm sorry. We ramp it up for 18 seconds. Sorry, wrong one. Here we go. And you're going to ramp it up for 6 seconds. 6 seconds spicy. There's his teammate. He was sitting 5th wheel. Good. And let's ramp it up again. It's a little bit more spicy. Let's ramp it up again. It's the most. It's 9 out of 10 hard. Good. Bring it right back down to tempo. Get ready to sprint for the finish line. You're going to make a right-hand turn, and then we're pretty much off for the finish line. Get ready. This is the end of the race. Are you going to make it in time? And here we go. Final sprint starting now. Everything you got. Sprint, 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 sprint. And across the finish line first. You're done. That's it. Good work, guys. All right. A lot of tempo riding with some conditions sprinkled in here and there. This is a great style of workout to do any time of year. I prescribe a lot of sweet spot intervals for base training because it both raises your aerobic capacity while also giving you really good muscular endurance capacity. So it's really going to serve you well when you get into those higher intensities. It's also a great way to just top off your aerobic capacity work during the week without being too exhausted. So if you're doing a bunch of VO2 max work, you could put in a workout like this that's a lot of tempo, sweet spots, some little sprints, and it'll cover a lot of bases. You'll get a big bang for your buck, so you don't have to spend so many hours in the saddle. Sometimes hours in the saddle is great at a lower intensity, but more time in the saddle can wear you down. It can interfere with what you have going on throughout the week. So this is a good big bang for your buck kind of a workout. If you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. Let me know. If you want to tag some racers that you saw in that race. I shouldn't have mentioned Nate when I saw him come by, but I already did. When you see those racers as they come by, you can put it in. Whoever tags the most people will win. I'll hook you up with a cycling cap. Next week, I'm going to be out of town. We are still going to live stream though. I'm going to have it either pre-recorded or rebroadcast something we've done. You'll still have something to work out to with some accountability, so stay tuned for that. In the comments, there's a link to the apparel store, the local apparel store. Just a few things in there, a couple t-shirts and a gator. This is not it. This is for the gym I coach at, but we have gaiters so that you can ride around with it. If it's a little bit chilly, you can also put it up as a mask. So that link's in the comments. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will see you on the flip side. Take it easy.